Once upon a time, there were two monks who lived in a monastery high in the mountains. One day, they were given a task to transport a precious vase across a river to a nearby village. The vase was fragile and expensive, and the monks were instructed to handle it with great care. As they set out on their journey, they came across a young woman who was also trying to cross the river. The woman was in distress, as she was afraid to cross the river alone, and she didn't know how to swim. Without hesitation, one of the monks offered to carry the woman across the river on his back. The other monk was taken aback, as their religious order forbade physical contact with women. However, the first monk simply smiled and carried the woman across the river. Once they reached the other side, he gently placed her down, and the two monks continued on their journey. The second monk was deeply troubled by what had just happened, and he couldn't shake the thought of his fellow monk breaking their religious rules. After walking in silence for several hours, he finally spoke up. "Brother, I am troubled by what you did earlier. Our order forbids us from physical contact with women, and yet you carried that woman across the river." The first monk smiled and replied, "Brother, I carried the woman across the river and put her down on the other side. You, on the other hand, have been carrying her with you all this time." The second monk was struck by his words, and he realized that he had been carrying a burden of judgment and resentment with him all along. From that moment on, he learned to let go of his judgments and focus on the present moment. The two monks completed their task of delivering the vase, but their journey had also taught them a valuable lesson about the weight of emotional baggage and the power of letting go.